So that takes us to today's games. Wednesday, the last concluding first leg games of the last round of 16. Napoli playing at home to Barcelona. Again, another game that was, for me, a little bit below my expectation in terms of the standard. The two teams tried. Barcelona created chances, a few chances in the first half, couldn't take it, one falling to Gundogan. With the inspirational lead of the lethal Lewandoski, they took a lead, but it didn't take long. Osimhen coming back from the AFCON, here he came late because of some flight issues. This was going to be his first game since he came back from the AFCON. Did what he normally does best and restored the pride of Napoleons at home by equalizing the game with a very on a half turn and picking a side on the Barcelona goal, and this game ended 1-1. So I don't know, what do you think about this game? Did you have time to put an eye on it? I was watching both games at the same time.
No, I didn't really watch it extensively, but yes, Barcelona are in a bad place presently. I think they've done well to. This was played at Napoli, right?
Yeah,
in Italy. They've done well to at least get a goal over there at Napoli, which gives them a very, very strong chance in the second half, the second leg. Napoli have been underachieving. I did not expect them to beat Barcelona at home based on current form, and that's how it turned out to be. So, looking at it, I think that Barcelona definitely has an edge right now in the second leg, depending on who Napoli just fired their coach. I don't think he's been replaced yet. So I don't know the tactical setup that they're going to go to Barca with, but they better have a plan. Otherwise, there's no way they can beat Barca at home.
Yes, I think Barcelona will have an edge in this one. Again, it's still just like the other games. There's nothing more that separates these two sides based on what Barcelona have done recently. They're not in the best run of forms, both in Europe and domestically. So you cannot really say they are going to go through, because if with the presence of Osimhen, just as Barcelona has Lewandoski, anything can happen, which like he showed today that he could take his chances. For the last pass in that game, I saw Napoli try to force the issue. They gave Barcelona so many things to think about today, so you can't really count them out. I think they have what it takes, considering where Barcelona is at the moment, to get a result in Spain as well. Though you cannot take my word for it, that cannot be taken to the bank. Barcelona are always dangerous at the Nou Camp. You can always count on the home crowd, the atmosphere, and the confidence that will come with it for them to kind of go through in this one. So, having said that, who do you expect to go through in that fixture?
I expect Barcelona to go through. At Nou Camp, the large stadium, they're going to be able to play their expansive football. I don't think that Napoli, yes, even with Victor Osimhen, they have both the tactical setup and the personnel to go to Nou Camp on such a high-profile game and be able to beat Barcelona. It's no longer a case of being able to score away and an away goal being
exactly. You have to win outright. Win is win.
You have to win outright, yes.
So that takes us to Avia. Don't forget, let us know who do you think will go through. Barcelona 1-1 away in Italy against Napoli, traveling home with draw for the reverse fixture in a couple of weeks' time. Do you think Barcelona showed enough today, or have enough, or have what it takes to go through in this one? Or do you think Napoli can as well find their way with the ammunition they have up front in the person of Victor Osimhen? Do you think they can pull off this one? Then we'll go to Porto at home to Arsenal. This was always going to be a tricky fixture for Arsenal. Porto is not a place that Arsenal has a lot of joy traveling to in the past. Returning back for the first time in 7 years to the Champions League round of 16. Arsenal has not managed to go past this round in so many attempts now. I think the last time they did so was in 2011 or so. They went to quarterfinals. So it was always going to be, there is this, you could sense that there was going to be this mental block for the player to try to go past this stage. You know, some of these things are being drummed in players' ears most of the time, and it begins to form a kind of apprehension for them. And that was how this game started. Arsenal have been, I think they have the best controlling team in EPL, and they brought that into this game. Napoli looked at their coach, did a very good job of studying the way Arsenal plays. They were very tactically sound. They know at Arsenal is very dangerous in the middle, you know, using incisive passes. They blocked up the midfield and allowed Arsenal to go out wide and close down quickly as soon as the balls went wild. You know, so another day they nicked it at almost the last kick of the game. Ugo, what's your overall view of this one before we go into the nitty-gritties?
I thought it was an interesting game. Overall, played between two highly tactical teams, equally matched. It was a strong performance from Porto, strong defensive performance from Porto, strong possessive possession-based performance by Arsenal. But again, no chances were created, which was a worry as an Arsenal fan. After 20 minutes or so, without any chances, without any touches inside the box of the opponents, I knew it was going to be a long game. I knew that they had gotten their tactics right. I mean, Porto. And I also saw movements from their forwards that showed that, you know, they had the pace, they had the tactical awareness, they had the skill, they had the strength and the mentality to really take it to Arsenal. And you know, that's what happened. The game became a slugfest, and at the end of the day, these guys Porto hit the sucker punch at the worst possible time, with pretty much the last kick of the game. So it's up to us now to, you know, go back and recoup and get ready for the second leg.
Yes, the beginning of the game, Arsenal had control, but I could see, just like he said, this is a very young team, and most of these players have not even played the Champions League before, not talk less of playing in the knockout stages. So this stage, of course, this is where experience comes in, confidence and stuff. You could see there were a few misplaced passes in the middle of the park for Arsenal. I felt that they were a little bit apprehensive, though they were in control generally as a team, but there were some individual shaky moments that were a sort of concern for me. Remember the Clarice picking up the yellow card in the first, I think, 2 or 3 minutes of the game after a kind of loss of concentration in the middle of the park for Arsenal. So, and that continued throughout the game. Arsenal was in control, but they couldn't find their rhythm. There were so many stops. Porto managed to commit some very tactical fouls. Their coach was as energetic as Arteta. You could sense some kind of lack of composure in the Arsenal play. They were not as swift as they usually are in their passes. I don't know. Do you think experience at this level could be a worry for Arsenal, or do you expect them to do better at the Emirates?
Experience is a major worry for Arsenal. Experience in terms of not having played at this stage before. And what I've seen with this Arsenal team is that the development has come in stages, come in steps, right? They've had to go through tough times, go through all kinds of obstacles. And the good thing is that they've developed with every obstacle that they faced. They've been able to develop and add something to what they already have. So this is another one. You know, the team, I'm sure, will add something to what they already have and then see how it goes in the second leg. I back the team 100% to be able to qualify against Porto. This game, of course, Arsenal dominated the game, but they were not dominant, if that makes sense. They dominated possession, dominated territories, but not dominant enough in the opponent's 80-yard box, in the areas that matter, and with set pieces as well. So they just need to do their homework and then come with the right mentality and I believe they will be able to overcome this Porto team.
Yeah, domestically, Arsenal has scored 16 goals through sport kicks, the highest in the league. In fact, I don't know if any team has scored more than that in the whole of European League. Today, they had loads of corners, over 8 or 9 corners in this game, and they didn't manage to convert anyone. On one hand, you could see that Porto did their homework on studying how Arsenal has managed to score a lot of goals from their sport kicks and corner kicks. And having said that, Arsenal still managed to get some free headers, which they missed. One fell into Saliba. I think Cahavas missed one. And Gabriel, of course, also missed one from the free kick from Odegaard. What do you think? Do you think, and one thing that worried me today about the corner kicks were, usually we see variation of corners for Arsenal in games. But today, it looked like they almost played identical corners all through the game, and the team did not prove in any way, give them any edge or any threat on Porto goal. Is there a thing of worry for you? Do you think things are beginning to figure out this, or do you think Arsenal still can create chances? Because at this level, whatever you have that you can use to that will see you go through, I think you should deploy it. Did you have any worry that Arsenal could not even just score goal, but couldn't really create any dangerous situation with all the the dead balls that we are played in?
Yeah, it's a worry that clear-cut opportunities were not created, and the ones that were, like the Gabriel header, he didn't manage to put it on target. But yeah, in terms of variations, yes, that was the case. It was just the same Bukayo playing, an in-swinger towards the far end of the other goal. That's what they did throughout the game. And the Porto goalkeeper was definitely prepared and is a good goalkeeper, good handling, good command of his box on set pieces. And so it would have been a good thing for Arsenal to maybe vary some of their set piece routines, maybe shorter ones, and maybe someone approaching from outside the box and having instead of the corner being an in-swinger, probably an out-swinger or something on the carpet for somebody to shoot. But yeah, they did not vary that. And I believe that the secret of their success in set pieces isn't because the opponents do not study those set pieces. I'm sure opponents study the set pieces. The success would be in varying them and trying different options to confuse opponents. So maybe that's where work needs to be done.
Yeah, like the one that they did, but the one that was played out to Trossard for a volley, you could see that it was a clear sight on goal for one of the clear sights on goal for Arsenal in the first half. Though Trossard, charismatic of him, shot way wide over the post. And yeah, it's a little bit of worry. I especially them having played like 4 or 5 corners and saw how Porto I would say adamant in making sure that Arsenal does not score from those set pieces. They should have gone for some shots, corner kicks. Probably, if you think looking at that, maybe Arsenal was weary of the pace that Porto had on the counter. Maybe they didn't want to lose the corner kicks in transition and Porto hitting them on the counter. But at the end of the day, it didn't prove successful. They couldn't score, and they considered the goal they considered at the last minute of the game. Let's look at the goal. This game, this is where one experience. You went away from home. It's a difficult game, stop starts. Porto, we are up for it. They gave you a fight. They were dangerous in the counter and strong defensively. 2 minutes to the end of the game, or a minute to the end of the game. I think at that point, this is where maybe Arteta's experience as well comes in. He should take the draw and go home and But Arsenal was still trying to force. First of all, Gabriel was careless with the ball. Somehow, Arsenal recovered from it. Then Porto came in again. Declan Rice managed to put in a tackle. This ball came to Martinelli. Again, I think his lack of experience. You can't be trying to throw that ball all the way to Saka and the diagonal across the field at that time of the game. And once Porto got it off, it was always a dangerous one. And in goal, I don't know, would you blame Raya in any way? Could he have done better with the shot? Yes, it was a curler. The guy that scored the goal, what's his name? Guardiola, or whatever his name is, has scored 3 goals in the group stages. So, of course, he was a danger. I think he had a shot on target in the first half. So, what do you make of that goal? Is this where the inexperience of the team comes in? Like I said, managing the end of that game could have been 0-0 draw to Emirates. Would have been better off than considering that goal as they did.
Yeah, I think that the inexperience showed most especially with Gabriel Martinelli. The ball that Martinelli was trying to play was a decent ball, but probably not to Saka. They had two other midfielders between Saka and that ball. Saka was the farthest player. Yeah, probably, he should have just played in the midfielder so the midfielder can transition to Saka. He tried to play, tried to do the Hollywood pass and, played it into a very neutral zone. He didn't even play it to feet. Played it into a neutral zone where it was easy for Porto to take over the ball. And, that's inexperience, and that's Gabriel Martinelli being himself, has a rush of blood in his head quite a few times, and then he plays makes stupid mistakes. But it is what it is. His inexperience showed there. I would, he is the main person that I would hold responsible for turning that ball over that way, where Arsenal had opportunities to play a proper ball in transition and see. I'm not against them trying to score at that point because they had dominated position in the game and they had a 50-50 chance to try and go score a goal, and that's what they tried to do, but the wrong ball was played. As for the goalkeeper, I wouldn't blame the goalkeeper solely because the goalkeeper moves with the team. The goalkeeper stepped forward he was on the front foot throughout the game, trying to close the spaces behind the defenders because the defenders were pressing up, and he was trying to flow with the team. And remember, Arsenal just had possession, right? The goalkeeper would normally step up with the team as usual. That's what he did. Stepped up thinking that the game was a counter was on, only for the ball to get turned over, and Canella did not waste time, just shifted it to his right foot and curled it in. So it's not something I'll blame the goalkeeper on, but I know what the narrative will be. The whole Raya narrative will start again.
Yeah,
People don't get tired of that nonsense.
Jinho will be out again. Jinho will be out again, of course. We know them. They've been waiting for it. Yes, I completely agree with you on that one. And let's look at, I remember the last episode or the last show that we had, I mentioned that people forget that Arsenal have about 5 very important players out injured. Today, before the beginning of that game, the bench, I looked at the bench for Arsenal, there wasn't nothing there that could really affect the game from the apart from Smith Rowe and maybe Jinho, which meant that Arsenal went almost through the game without no substitution. So the solution that was made, Jinho, what did you make of about his performance?
I thought he messed up the game. He was supposed to come in and maybe add some more directness as well as security of the ball, but he turned the ball over a few times. I thought he came in to maybe try some channel splitting passes for Saka and Odegaard. He didn't do much of that. Didn't secure the ball enough. Didn't really contribute much to the transition play. So I thought that sub did not produce the right effects, number one. But number two, having said that, I looked at the bench for Arsenal in this game. I'm like, what is going on? Really, the injuries you can see, having Fabio Vieira, that this would have been his first game after almost 6 months of being out on the bench. It's same thing with Emil Smith Rowe, that's just coming back from injury. Apart from that, those guys, you have Ketia. So you could see that the injuries have started taking a toll. They definitely took a toll on the squad playing against Porto today. Hopefully, most of those guys will start coming back and help the team moving forward.
Yeah, I disagree with you a little bit on Jinho. I think what happened was that when he came in, Porto kind of really knew what he came to do, but positionally, he helped the play. Remember, before he came in, but the other guy never received any pass from our team in the usual position where he usually hurt teams. But once Jinho came in, I saw like two or three passes come to him, though one of them he couldn't get hold of, he couldn't control it. But those passes didn't come for Jinho, but it came from Ben White and Saliba, because Jorginho engaged some spaces that Porto kind of lost sight of Odegaard. That is the only way I think.
That's quite a stretch. Other people made the passes and you're giving Jorginho's presence
the reason why I was able to see it, like I said, all through the game before he came in, Odegaard never received one ball in a half turn that he usually does behind opponent's defense, because the Porto locked the midfield, and of course Odegaard was playing a little bit deeper in the midfield. But so once Jorginho came in, Odegaard pushed off front, and he got three of those passes. Usually when he gets into those pockets of spaces, that's where Arsenal are dangerous. That's when Arsenal is dangerous. And I think Saka should be mentioned in this one. He wasn't really I don't think he ever went past the left back for Porto today. I don't really blame him, but he could have done better today. It's not one of his best memories. He should be blamed a little bit for the outcome of this game. I think he just had an okay performance. There was nothing special from Saka today. So that's how I saw the Jinho sub. It wasn't fantastic, but positionally he helped us, because he helped Odegaard to push forward and receive some passes in a dangerous position. But of course, we're not as decisive as we have been in this game. One of the things I put to it is, apart from the injuries or lack of quality on the bench, was you could see there was no conviction in the minds of the Arsenal players to go on Porto. There was a little bit of apprehension in their minds. And if you look at Arteta as well, his body language on the bench didn't really look convincing. It looked like he was tinkering too much all through the game, unlike him. So I think, sometimes this team, when their backs have been on the wall, that's when they see them the best. Was going to Emirates and knowing that all they have to win the game, I think they will come all guns blazing and try to see themselves through to the next stage in this one. So having said that, if you don't have do you have anything to add, or who do you think will go through in this? Do you think Arsenal can still go through, or we go through, or do you expect Porto to consolidate their position at the Emirates?
I expect Arsenal to go through, but that's not underrating Porto in any way or taking anything away from their ability and their performance. They are a very solid side, very solid team, and even their major goal scorer wasn't even on the pitch. And so they still have a lot to offer. I was quite impressed with Canella, impressed with Consecao, impressed with Varela. Varela was incredible.
Pepe stepped in so many times.
Impressed with Pepe.
Yeah.
Pepe, I'm talking about Pepe the forward, not Pepe the defender. I thought, the Pepe the forward was
the defender too stepped up. So there were so many times he intelligently stopped Arsenal counters. He stepped in, and I know he's a dirty player, but today I think his experience counted a lot for the team.
Yeah. So, having said all that, I believe Arsenal will progress in the second leg. I think they will come ready to play.
Well, there are only two reasons why I would say Arsenal will go through. One is because I'm an Arsenal fan and I want them to go through. Secondly, they are going to come all guns blazing. If Gabriel Jesus is back for that fixture, his presence will help the team, and the bench will be stronger. Arsenal will have more guns to attack Porto. The only worry I have is that if Porto at home at 0-0 approach the game, they could approach it today with a 1-goal lead, and they're going to come to the Emirates. They're going to come to the Emirates and even play more on the counter, which is going to be difficult for us now to break through. But with the atmosphere at the Emirates, and if the team can be confident of their abilities, they will go through. But if there's any way there's a kind of apprehension in their minds or doubt in their minds. Porto will take this team because they have dangerous players going forward as well. So that our viewers, I don't know this one. Let us know in the comment section what you think. Do you think Arsenal has what it takes to overturn this result and go through in this one, or do you expect Porto to consolidate their position? We have seen Arsenal under Arteta in this kind of precarious situations a few times in Europe. I remember in the Europa Cup, I think it was against was it Galatasaray? Who was that team that dumped Arsenal at the Emirates in the last minute? In the Europa League. What do you let us know?
That was Sporting Lisbon.
Sporting Lisbon, yes. Let us know what you think about this one. Do you expect us now to still go through, or do you think Porto will go through in this one? We will come back next week at the second leg of this fixture. Like I said, after the round of 16 first leg games, no team had an emphatic win. No team has made any strong statement of progressing to the next stage, or nothing has been decided yet. All the teams seem to be waiting for the second leg to confirm who will go through to the quarterfinals. This season looks like almost all the teams are operating at the same level. There's no distinct quality. Though Manchester City and Real Madrid are dog favorite to win this one this year, but so far in this round of 16, there is no guaranteed win, no emphatic win. Nobody has made any strong statements of their progress to the quarterfinals. So let us know what you think, and we will come back next week to continue coverage of the Champions League in the studio. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not done so. Hit the like button, and of course share the content as we continue to bring you coverage of the Champions League as the matches unfold. We will thank you for stopping by today as usual, and see you over the weekend. Of course, we'll return back to our EPL studios for coverage on the games that will come in this weekend. Some interesting games. Obviously, from now to the end of the season, almost every fixture is going to be important. Liverpool today, we know, played at home to Luton, behind one goal down. At the end of the day, consolidating their position at the top of the table, 4 points now. Yeah, so we'll see you on the weekend, and bye for now.